8:05. It was the siege which transfixed the world when terrorists took 26 people hostage in London's Iranian embassy back in 1980. Millions watched the raid live on television, catching their first glimpse of Special Forces soldiers in action.
But one of those s.a.s. veterans now faces life on the streets. Bob Curry has been on a housing list since last November, with no idea of when he'll have a permanent roof over his head. Kieran Durkin has this report.
Hailed for his heroic role in the 1980 Iranian embassy siege, Bob Curry became known as Backdoor Bob. After 6 days of tense negotiations, the world watched as Bob used a sledgehammer to smash through a window after an explosive failed to detonate. It was this brave action that allowed the s.a.s. to storm the building and rescue the 19 hostages trapped inside. After decades of serving his country, Bob left the elite regiment and opened a business training ex-servicemen as locksmiths. But he fell on hard times with major health struggles, the collapse of his business and long-term relationship, leaving him homeless. Bob has applied for a council house, but has now found himself going between his daughter's sofa and a B&B paid for by the British Legion. Hundreds of thousands have now signed a petition calling on Herefordshire Council to find him a home. But for now, Bob's wait continues.
We're joined now by Bob, along with former s.a.s. soldier Rusty Furman, who led the siege. You were there together.
Well, to put it in perspective, just look at this picture here. Okay, this is at the back. So everybody was watching live, and they saw the front of the thing. This is the back of the embassy. Now, Bob, you're on the right of that picture.
That's right.
You're the one first in. Rusty, you're in the middle because you've got no hand, no gloves. You were known as No Gloves Furman, right?
That's right.
You were the team leader actually in the back there. So there were the two of you going in there. Rusty, we interviewed you recently about the Netflix movie about the raid.
Yeah.
Bob, on the face of it, this just seems awful to me. You know, there you are, somebody that took part in one of the great raids that the British Army has ever executed. And yet one of the terrorists that was in that embassy is now living in a nice, comfortable British council house, and you, one of the s.a.s. sent in to try and save people from these guys, you don't have one.
That's right.
You're homeless.
I am.
Why on earth have you been left in that situation? I know that at one stage even, you were in a hostel where you had to ask permission to use the toilet. This is not the way anybody thinks our heroes should be treated.
Yeah, you were escorted to the toilet.
What is it? Let's just very quickly tell us what's happened to your life to get you to this stage.
Right, I had a limited...
6 years in the s.a.s. Right?
Yeah, I had a limited company from '89 up until August this year, where it was with MOD and it collapsed. Yeah, MOD pulled the contract, not through my fault, and it just snowballed from there.
So you hit money troubles?
From the business.
And in your personal life?
Yeah, that went wrong. And, you know, relationships break down. And it went wrong from there. And there I am, homeless on the streets through that. And it just went from bad to worse.
You had to sell your medals.
Yeah, I've sold my medals.
How
what
much?
did you get for them?
20,000. But that went into the business.
How did you feel having to sell your medals?
It's heartbreaking, because I was awarded them by the country. You know, this great country that we live in and defend. And it just feels like, you know, it's not just me, it's the other veterans. The 13,000 veterans living on the streets in this country, and 13% of the prison population are veterans. And they were normal people when they went into the military. And when they come out, they've got all sorts of problems. You know, having relationships, keeping it going. And we owe them a debt of gratitude.
Well, we owe you a debt of gratitude. Rusty, you were on that raid with Bob. What kind of guy was it?
Bob, professional soldier. You know, I met him in '79, I haven't done selection. He came to the troop, A troop, and B squadron. You know, a great troop to be in, and I think Bob will agree, fitted in very well.
I mean, when you and I discussed this before with Susanna last time he came on, I was incensed that you had never been given any kind of honour by this country, not even an MBE. You think of some of the pop stars who get knighthoods, and there's you, an s.a.s. hero for 15 years. But that's been sort of overtaken, really, by what I've heard about Bob's story. A guy rendered homeless, a man having to sell his own medals, right, just to survive. What is going wrong with the way that we treat people like you guys, but particularly Bob in this case?
I just think that there's no... The system in place isn't a system that works. You know, there is nothing there to say, you come out the army, you've got to make your own way in life, okay? things go bad at times, things go good at times. And in Bob's case, it went bad. But there, with the other people he's mentioned, there is no system to follow through.
When you heard, Rusty, that he was homeless, a guy that you'd stormed through the back of the Iranian embassy with, right, heroes to the nation, that this guy was homeless. How did that make you feel?
Really bad. I'd spoke to Bob last year when we had a meeting down in Hereford about October time, and he told me there was a little bit of a problem, not the whole ins and outs of it. Of course, Christmas came and went, and then it appeared in the paper. Really was the first time, because I normally give Bob a ring when I get up to Hereford, and go and have a coffee and stuff with him. And when I found out, I was so shocked. And if you ask him, I called him 4 or 5 times one day. The following day was exactly the same, and I've called him a few times since, because it actually came as a shock to me for it to happen so quickly, and then just find booted out.
There was a big petition in the Sun, signed by a lot of people. They've been very good, I think, on this. For you, Bob, have you had any more contact with the council? Have they made it clear to you they're going to help you?
We had a constant battle with the council. Myself, British Legion, Shelter, and SAFA, and we really have. And it wasn't until the ex-mayor of Hereford, Jim Kenyon, stepped in, who's now a councillor, and started asking questions, and then obviously the campaign that's happened since, that anything is happening, but to this day I still haven't got anywhere to live.
Isn't this ironic? You fought for your country, and now you are in a battle with your local council, where the regiment is based, in order just to have a home. You sought help from the Regimental Association. You now have B&B accommodation, but it's a very short period of time.
Paid for by the Regimental Association. Otherwise I would be sleeping in my car or on a park bench.
It's absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. You know, you never got an honour either, right?
No.
Nothing. Not even an MBE.
No.
So 2 of you served, I think, over 20 years between in the s.a.s, right? Doing the nastiest of jobs in the most difficult of circumstances, including that siege there. When you heard, for example, Bob, that Fawaz Najjar, who's one of the terrorists, is living in a council house in this country and being taken care of, what did that make you feel like?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, they murdered people in this country. He should still be in prison. He shouldn't be out on the streets.
And there's the man who was trying to stop them murdering people. And they did murder some people. You were trying to stop them, and our response to you as a country is to leave you homeless.
Absolutely.
And to never give either of you any honour. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I'm sure the viewers think it's disgusting. There's a statement from the council. I was going to read it. You know what? I can't be bothered. Here's the reality, Herefordshire Council. You can come up with all the statements you like. This guy is a national hero. They both are. He's homeless because you have not seen fit to take care of him. So rather than issuing stupid little statements to us, why don't you do your jobs and give this guy a proper council house right now, i.e. today, and show that this country values what he did and what Rusty Furman did that day. That day alone should justify them being taken care of for the rest of their lives, not selling their medals and living on park benches. It is reprehensible. So stick your statements and get action and get him to a council home today. Bob, I'm really sorry we've had to meet under these circumstances. You guys, you know, you're my heroes. You know, the s.a.s. to me, the greatest elite force in the world. You just risked your lives time and again for us. It is repulsive what has happened to you. And I hope that we can now get you the action. And I hope next time we get you back on the sofa, and I'm hoping it's going to be very quick.
Let's hope it's tomorrow.
We interview you, and we interview you in a good council home. And I also hope that if the government is watching this, that apart from being ashamed about what has happened to these guys, what about actually giving the s.a.s. guys that did the most successful raid on British mainland in history, what about giving them some recognition of one of these honours lists, which go to pop stars and entertainers and TV personalities and all the rest of it? What about giving s.a.s. heroes something, an MBE, making them feel proud as they made us feel proud? Is that too much to ask? Bob, best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
It's great to meet you.
Really good.
You are heroes to me. I'm sure to all our viewers. And we're going to get action. We'll keep on this until you get sorted.
Thank you for this.
Thanks so much.
Amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing.
I think something's going to happen on this. 22 minutes past 8, you're watching Good Morning Britain.